Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 8 in this series between Empires Kaz and Acer's Nerchio. Game 8 taking place here on Achillean Waste, not Achillean Flats, as this is the Heart of the Swarm version. Empires Kaz spawning as the blue Terran player on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have Acer's Nerchio. Now, Game 7, a very, very bad day to be a worker. Both players with over 20 worker kills in under 13 minutes of StarCraft. And that really goes to show you some good old strategies, some build orders still viable. Banshees, Hellion opening, very, very effective. Nerchio, I thought, would have taken the game with a transition in a Mutilus, but it was really surprising to see 1 or 2 to 3 cloaked Banshees dealing as much damage as the mass Mutilus strategy. There was a good 10 to 12 Mutilus. You saw a lot of Zergling run-bys. Both sides did terrible, terrible damage to each other. As we now move into Game 8. So far, Kaz wants to shut the door on Nerchio. Nerchio hoping for one more game, and one more game would force a Game 9 in this series, as Nerchio already making his way down, and it looks as though, yes, this drone will be growing up to be a hatchery. Now, what is the strategies here so far? It looks like Kaz is going to be going for a 1-wax expand before second supply depot. Now, some of the benefits for this 1-wax expand before second supply depot is that you pretty much know that your opponent is not going to really be dealing that much damage to you. The problem, though, is it does need to scout out your opponent, and we now see Kaz scouting out with an SCV. Spawning pool is coming into play. The walking distances are much shorter here on Achillean Waste. So Kaz will be forced to perhaps trade up some more Marines and try and get a very, very strong economy going. Are we going to be seeing a supply depot? No, it's going to be a refinery. SCVs are being trained up. We are going to be ending up at quite a supply block, as Kaz finally deciding to finish off this front door seal, even though he has one Marine down over here. The Marines are looking for any possible overlords. This is perhaps the only time the Marines can really do it whatsoever. And you can see the little patrol there, and it will be coming back. Drone and now chasing back this SCV. As Kaz sitting on 20 over 27, still no bunker down. And that does have some alarm for concern, as Zerglings may be able to put down a bit of pressure. 4 Zerglings already underway. Let's take a look. We are going into double refinery. Are we going to be perhaps seeing a factory followed by a starport relatively quickly, as the orbital command now will be upgraded down here? There you have it. There is the barracks. A reactor is going to be placed down. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, I'm even waiting for it now, as the Zerglings are now going to be able to put pressure here. Kaz needs to cancel that bunker. Doesn't cancel it. Wow, this is bad news. What is going on here? As you see the mule now being pulled back, the bunker not being canceled. A lot already lost there, as the Marines are engaging. SCV joining in on the fight. Mule trying to harvest some additional resources. Looks like it will be able to do exactly that. The Zerglings and the Marines doing a little bit of a chase. Marines having a little bit of an easier time than a whole bunch of Zealots, as the Marines at least do in fact have range. Okay, there is the swap now. Nerchio and Kaz going at it. It looks as though Kaz thinking to himself, hey, if it worked in Game 7, why not work in Game 8? As it seems to be the exact same build that we saw in Game 7. Nerchio getting up a whole bunch of drones now, not establishing up his next base right off over here. This does come as a bit of a surprise. Nerchio does have a 10 worker advantage at this stage, and more Hellions still going to be added. There is that swap again, and it is going to be Banshees or Cloaking Field first, or nope, Banshee first once again, followed by Cloaking Field. All right, Roach Warren now being trained up. That is not going to work out all too well. Kaz and now establishing a bunker here. And perhaps Kaz doesn't really feel comfortable with Widow Mines as of yet, just because there's been a lot of talk about how much Widow Mines splash damage does to your own units, especially if you try and defend with Widow Mines. Because of the slow firing time on a Widow Mine, the roaches can actually just run up into this location here and start attacking at these supply depots with just one lone roach first. If that lone roach falls, it probably already took a lot of damage from that bunker anyways, as we now already have Hellions. Wow, Hellions coming in with a lot of drone kills already. 9 coming in. My apologies for for not keeping track. Harvester count is now 39 to 33. A huge switch. A huge swap there, as we are now training up 8 drones at a time. So even though Nerchio is going to be able to come back in with a lot more, it may not necessarily work, as we already see double spore crawlers coming into play. Oh, the Banshee needs to hurry up. The Banshee has a very small window of attack, as the cloaking... Oh, there comes the drones. Here we go. It's going to try and engage against... is it going to take out the spore crawler? No, it is not. And that would have actually been a pretty smart move there to try and take out the spore crawler, as the Queen now coming in. Meanwhile, the front door completely bombarding one siege tank in the back. SCVs now all in hold position right there, actually engaging back the roaches, trying to come in with a counterattack. And Nerchio, oh, a beautiful burrow, as the sea roaches were able to regenerate a decent amount of hit points. Siege tanks unable to attack. No, attacking the unbuildable rocks, as the... Oh my goodness, so much damage being had. And what is going to be happening next? All right, the roaches are on the move. Are they going to be able to burrow in time? They do have good regeneration there, as the siege tank says, you know what? I'll play this game. I think you're within combat range, but little does he know he is in fact not. All right, roaches with very good regeneration. This is the first time we've actually seen Nerchio executing a very time-specific build order. There are 2 roaches here. Are they gonna unburrow and start taking down some SCVs? That may be the case, as... Oh, that roach in for a little bit of shell shock. Now being forced to pull back. Here we go. The second siege tank now coming in. Oh, as the roaches are backing off, there goes another marine, or there goes another SCV trying to focus down some easy units. Oh, walked in a bit too close there, as we can see that the roaches are just burrowed. You're like, you know what? I can do that. There's the scatter sweep, taking down the last of the siege tanks, or the last of the roaches. Oh my goodness, getting all of my unit names mixed up. So if you guys did not know, Burrow was moved to tier 1, allowing for a very quick roach aggression. Now, baneling surprises are also in the realm of possibilities. I am surprised that Nerchio is not going for Tunneling Claws as of yet. Tunneling Claws, one of those very effective upgrades for roaches, as they are able to regenerate twice as much life while burrowed, and also move while burrowed, giving them a little bit more durability and a little bit more of a surprise attack involved as well. So far, Overlord is just keeping track, making sure that no third base is taken. And Nerchio sitting pretty comfortably right now. He has a very strong creep spread. You can see all of this creep just spreading across so quickly. I'm not quite sure why he... Oh, now laying down creep tumors off here. There is one cloaked Banshee, has 2 worker kills. What else is it going to do? Is it going to catch a drone? No, it is not, as there is currently no spore crawler here. Another drone now taken down. This Banshee, what does it hope to do? It could actually just run and take control of this bottom, or this 3 o'clock expansion. And Kaz not really on top of his game at this point. All right, let's see what that follow-up play will be. Oh, in comes the Banshee, but too little, too late. Move over 2 queens, move over an overseer, and this Banshee will have to turn tail and move back home. Metavacs now on the move. The Overlords does spot them. And with that, are we going to have a proper response by Nerchio? I would assume so. There is an Overseer and a Queen in position. Currently, 3 Overseers on the map. That is a large amount of gas that Nerchio has been forced to train up at this point, as roaches are now getting into position. All right, some creep tumors being placed down. Such a wide creep spread already. You can see how much creep is already being spread out across the map as the drop now looking to come in. Oh, the queens, the roaches are now unloading everything. There you go, as the Metavacs trying to unload more targets. A beautiful fungal growth by Nerchio. And this Metavac drop will get cleaned up in just a moment. Wow, no. Ignite Afterburners saves another Metavac, as a new Metavac now trying to drop on the 5 o'clock position. That is not going to work out. Zergling's already there. The Metavac pilot going, you know what? I'll ignite some Afterburners. I'll get the heck out of here. Not much to really, I dropped off the boys, forgot to pick them up. And, I'm sure my commander will forgive me. I'll just train up a couple more Marines back at home. Okay. Roaches now clearing out these destructible rocks, as we are getting more and more drones transferred to the 4th base of Nerchio. Scouting Overlord will be popped. There it goes. As we are now running up on 4 bases as well for Kaz. So, Kaz taking this forward expansion with a planetary fortress. And this planetary fortress should be effective at dealing with a lot of the Zergling run-bys. However, now we are going to be seeing Nerchio transition into what I believe is perhaps some of the best units in Heart of the Swarm for Zerg in those Ultralisks. Ultralisks so effective, as a beautiful fungal growth catches a lot of siege tanks. And what is happening here, as multiple fungals and making it near impossible. Multiple Marines, siege tanks have fallen, as the siege tank numbers is all that is going to be strong in this push. Without support, though, perhaps Mutalisk would have been better, as we should be going into some infested Terran. Oh, this is going to be huge. There goes some siege tanks already gone. Beautiful play. And more siege tanks getting taken down. A great trade by Nerchio, as we see Marines, siege tanks. And is Kaz going to be forced to retreat with these units? He is a bit too forward in this position. More Marines are going to get taken down. Oh, this Infestor doesn't make it in time, being forced to back off once again. In comes the Zergling. Here comes the flank. There's the fungal growth. Is it going to be enough? Metavacs unable to... Ignite Afterburners doesn't do a thing when you are fungal growth. And are we going to see another fungal growth? Yes, we are. Chain fungal growth? I do believe so. And... oh my goodness, 3 hit points, 3 hit points. And no infested Terran to finish it off. Meanwhile, coming back here, we can see a quick drop coming in. Ultralisk says, I just want to hug you. No real luck there, as the units now back off. Chitinous plating now being upgraded by those Ultralisks. Extra hard skin, meaning 5 armor, soon to be 6, as we are now moving into level 3 infantry upgrades. Alright, how many barracks does a professional player have in a game of StarCraft 2? The answer, well, in this particular instance, will be 10, as we are now sitting on 72 SCVs versus 86 drones. Ultralisk now looking to charge in on the front door. Oh my goodness, is this going to be enough? It looks as though the Marines and the Marauders are backing off. This is a giant kill box, as the Marauders are simply walking to their doom. But it is kiting and baiting out many of these Ultralisks. That was actually a bit of a lucky break for Kaz, as the Ultralisks were attacking one Marauder at a time, as opposed to focusing down the heavily grouped units. Now, army, Nerchio has the larger army, Nerchio has the larger bank. Is it going to be enough? 86 drones, 72 SCVs. And it just feels like Nerchio is in a dominant position at this point. Alright, siege tanks now being added once more. Marauders, Marines. But down over here, 8 workers. Does Nerchio know about this? He has to. He has to know about this, but then again, I guess he doesn't, as the Zerglings are now trying to work so hard to take down these rocks there. Okay, one Marine on target practice finishes off his target. Medivacs, Banshees off in the corner, as we could be getting into another large attack here. Planetary Fortress does attack and take down a lot of these Zerglings. As you can see, a quick surround here. Planetary Fortress falls in just a matter of seconds. But what is this? A whole group of Marauders and Marines ready to meet and greet all of these Ultralisks. And Nerchio now trying to come in with the flank. Is it going to be enough? Looks like subunits will get taken down. But Nerchio really shouldn't have come into this position at all, as the entire group of Marauders and Marines just walks down the front door, and all those units pretty much had nowhere to go. Alright, trying to clean up all of this additional creep on the ground now. What is going to be happening next? Marauders, Marines, siege tanks in position. Oh, a bunch of infestors going to get taken out. That infestor down to 38 hit points. Looks like it will survive as a fungal growth does land. Are we going to be going in for another flank again? Will there be enough units? The destructible rocks were not taken down here, so the units can simply walk in. And what is Nerchio waiting for? It looks like Kaz is just banking on the fact that Nerchio doesn't want to engage. He's waiting for Banelings as the Zerglings now trying to engage. Oh, Blinding Cloud now being utilized. Siege tanks unable to do anything, but the Viper does not have enough energy for a second Blinding Cloud. Marauders, Marines, Viper unable to just do anything at all, as Kaz now gets cleaned up again. Nerchio sitting at 193, and this is looking so good for Nerchio now to finish this all off. Medivacs now simply retreating and returning all the way back home. What is the next course of action? Nerchio with a much larger army, much better economy, and I would assume better upgrades at this point. Yes, better upgrades at this point. Terran infantry is 3-3, but at this point, you really need those siege tanks and Marauders to be dealing a lot more damage. Okay, what is this? Oh, the Banshee could just take down this Ultralisk. Oh, there it goes. Trading on Ultralisk for a Banshee, decent enough, as the Marauders are now going after drones. Alright, Marauders are trying to position themselves. No Hellbats nearby. I believe Hellbat would have been a much, much better proposition, dealing both with Zerglings and with drones as well. Alright, Kaz has re-macroed up his army, and this is rather scary. Even supply with this many siege tanks upgraded at 2-0. Are they going to be enough, as the Medivac now looking to drop once more, perhaps down into this position? Now trying to bait away the rest of the units. Ultralisk kind of tiptoeing around everywhere. Zerglings, drones now falling as we see an orbital command. Oh, this is not good. All these Ultralisks are going to be getting into position here and taking down a whole bunch of units. This is turning into a bit of a base trade, except for the fact that Kaz has an additional drop force at the 3 o'clock position. 2 bases for 1. The front door is going to be very well protected. SCV perhaps should be on auto repair at the very least to try and heal up. Kaz doesn't know perhaps about all of those Banelings. Siege tanks will need to siege. Another hatchery falls, and only mining off of 1 base now, as this base was taken down as well. Kind of 1.5 bases here, as the Marauders still going to town, going to work. And what is happening next? A bit of long distance mining, and Kaz somehow staying in this game and been trading very efficiently now, as the Marauders and the Marine siege tanks. Here we go. What is going on? Why isn't Kaz engaging with everything? Banelings and Banelings, so many Banelings pulling through and finishing off much of the attack force. Meanwhile, Marauders going after Spore Crawlers, taking down another hatchery here. Another small drop, and Kaz pretty much everywhere at once. Gonna snipe down another hatchery, and that was the main macro hatchery for Nerchio. Nerchio now pretty much with no income, as Kaz is doubling his opponent. Alright, Kaz now looking to come back in. Marauders and Marines, Marauders now being picked up and dropped back off, as 1 siege tank sitting on the high ground, blasting away onto the low ground there. No Zelnaga towers? No Zelnaga towers in the center here, so just a very, very good lookout point as we see Kaz perhaps looking to mule out this location once more. Oh, this is going to be cutting it rather close. There is a lot of medevacs, Marauders and Marines, but is there enough Banelings as the Marauders are just going to be able to focus down a lot of these Ultralisks? There you go. There's a fungal growth, getting in a bit of easy damage. Infestors not getting off a fungal growth there. No creep for these Ultralisks to run on, and Queen's now getting taken down. Kaz is going to take this, it looks like, as the Marauders and the Marines are now chasing Ultralisks. Ultralisks pretty much nowhere to go as we see another hatchery is going to be falling. Kaz with about a 80 supply advantage, and everyone's favorite Zerg, or everyone's second favorite Zerg to watch lose, it appears, will be losing here. A beautiful fungal growth now, but I don't believe it will be enough of a recovery, as we are now taking a look at 100 supply advantage. No GG coming in from Nerchio as Kaz finishes off Nerchio in this best of 9 with a 5-3 victory. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.